Have you ever walked past one of those big construction sites? The ones with the massive hoardings up, and just wondered, what is going on in there? You see the signs promising new homes, but months, even years, can go by with nothing much happening. And all the while, we're hearing about this massive housing crisis. It's super frustrating, right? Well, today, let's pull back those hoardings and figure out what's really going on. To really get this, we've got to start in London, when the city's current housing strategy was kicking off. An incredibly low number of homes getting planning permission were actually affordable. We're talking just 13%. And that number, well, it was a massive wake-up call. It set the stage for a huge policy shift because, let's face it, a city just can't work if people can't afford to live there. And this quote from the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, really frames the whole challenge perfectly. The idea wasn't some quick fix. It was about fundamentally changing the system for the long haul. A marathon, not a sprint. Okay, so here's our roadmap. We're going to start with London's housing challenge, then look at the really clever threshold system they designed to tackle it. After that, we'll zoom out and look at the nationwide problem of why getting permission doesn't always mean getting homes built. And finally, we'll check out the new rules being proposed to speed the whole thing up. So let's dive right in. It all begins with a massive challenge. Before a single shovel hits the dirt, developers in London have to get through this maze of planning permission. And that whole conversation, it really starts with one key thing: affordable housing. And the goal they set, it is huge. The long-term strategic aim is for half, that's 50%, of all new homes built in the capital to be affordable. I mean, think about that. It's a massive leap from that tiny 13% they started with. But the big question is, how on earth do you get private developers to play ball with a target that ambitious? Well, that's where London's pretty clever new strategy comes in. It's called the 35% threshold, and it's all built around a really powerful incentive. The whole system is built around what's called a threshold approach. You can basically think of it like a fork in the road for developers. They get two different paths through the planning system, and the path they get to take all comes down to the number of affordable homes they're willing to build. And here it is, 35%. That is the magic number. The crucial point is this: if a developer commits to making at least 35% of the homes in their new project affordable without needing public money, they get to jump on a special, much faster track. So this creates two very, very different journeys to getting a project approved. You've got the fast track on one side, and on the other, the much more complicated viability-tested route. Okay, now check this out because the contrast is pretty stark. If you go for 35% or more affordable housing, you get the fast track. That means no need for these super complex financial reports arguing over every penny of profit. It's a quicker, more certain path to getting the green light. But if you offer less than 35%, you go down the viability-tested route. And here, you have to open up your books, justify every single cost, and prepare for a long, drawn-out negotiation. It's a really clear trade-off. Provide more affordable homes, and the city gives you the most valuable thing of all: speed and certainty. So let's say our developer's smart. They've taken the fast track, they've got their approval, the puzzle seems solved. But this is exactly where the story gets bigger than just London and becomes a problem for the whole UK. I mean, you'd think that getting permission is the final hurdle, right? The local community has been promised new homes, the developer has their stamp of approval, so the diggers should roll in tomorrow, right? Well, not so fast. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? A planning permission is just a piece of paper. It's not a roof over someone's head. And the gap between getting that official yes and actually building is often where the longest, most frustrating delays really happen. So why do these projects stall? If the demand for housing is so high, why wouldn't developers just build as fast as they possibly can? Well, the answer isn't really about how many builders they have. It's about market economics. It all comes down to this key concept called the absorption rate. Basically, it's the speed at which a developer can sell new houses without flooding the local market and causing prices to fall. For purely business reasons, it often makes more sense to build and sell slowly, bit by bit. It's kind of like a baker who could sell all their cakes in the morning for cheap, but chooses to sell them slowly all day to get the best price for each one. And this is fascinating because it connects our two stories perfectly. Research shows that sites with a higher percentage of affordable housing get built almost twice as fast. And why is that? Well, it's because those affordable homes are often pre-sold in one big block to housing associations. They aren't trickling out to the open market, so that whole absorption rate problem, it just doesn't apply. This completely changes the economics and lets them build much, much faster. Now, recognizing that this slow build-out is a national headache, not just a London thing, the UK government is now looking at new ways to give developers a push to finish projects more quickly once they have that permission.
So here's their game plan. It's a multifaceted strategy. They're looking at everything from streamlining the planning system itself to supporting buyers to keep demand steady, and, this is a big one, helping out smaller builders to break the dominance of just a few huge players. They also want to encourage more types of housing and better master planning, which, as we've seen, can help speed things up.
But the sharpest tool in the box, the one that's getting the most attention, is something called the delayed homes penalty. This would be a last resort, but it's designed to give local authorities some real teeth to hold developers accountable. So here's the idea. Developers would agree to a build schedule right at the start. If they fall way behind that schedule and they don't have a really good reason, like, say, a freak storm, the local authority could start charging a penalty for every single home that's delayed. It's designed to make building slowly financially painful.
So what we're seeing is this two-pronged attack on the housing problem. You've got the carrot, incentives to get the right kinds of homes approved in the first place, and you've got the stick, penalties to get them built on time. But the ultimate question, the one that really matters, is whether these new rules can truly change the fundamental economics of building. Will we finally see homes built faster, or will we just see a whole new list of creative excuses for delays?